Welcome to the FPL USA Press Play Podcast. Today you have Brian behind the mic, fresh off of Boxing Day fixtures, and I am joined by an FPL USA stud, one FPL underscore Dallas, aka Andrew. How are we doing, mate? Happy holidays.
I'm doing pretty well. Thank you for that intro. I'm feeling pretty decent about this game week. So happy holidays to you, and I enjoyed the Boxing Day fixtures for sure.
You did? I did not. I was full of pain and misery.
Oh
I feel
no!
like I had Santa come down the chimney for Christmas, and then the Grinch showed up on Boxing Day and
Oh,
took away all the presents that I had already opened. Oh, I had a fucking miserable week for FPL, but it's a short turnaround before the next deadline. So I think that's what I'm most excited for with another game week right around the corner. So without further ado, Andrew, tell the listeners a little bit about yourself. I know you were on the pod last year as well. And since our bum friends Dan and Bucks both skipped the pod today, you were called into action, fresh off the pine, the auto sub of dreams. So introduce yourself a little bit to the listeners.
yeah. So I've been playing FBO for quite a while now. I've last season I finished around 11K overall. And this season, not
Ooh,
going.
caliente, caliente.
Yeah, I was pretty happy about that. This season not going quite as well. I'm just inside the top 1 million, but actually last year at around this time, I was at around 1.1 million. So I rose from
Wow.
about 1.1 to 11K. So this time, I'm hoping for a similar rise. I'm just going to have to lock in and try to find a lot of those differentials and a lot of those players that'll get me there. I guess just about me personally, went to University of Texas. I do some government auditing, and so I'm one of those boring finance guys. But I promise I'm
you
not.
I would say for my interactions with you on X and in the group chat for hashtag FPL USA, you are anything but boring, my friend. So
I bring a
at
little
least,
flair.
yeah, you get the steady government pay and the benefits, but then you bring the spice into the rest of your life. So we love that, the banter from you. I think it was what Gahey was your boy last year. You
Oh
called
yeah,
him a majestic unicorn that would
gung
save
ho for
all of
Gahey.
mankind.
Yeah.
So who's your shout this season? Who's this season's Gahey for you that you're just enamored with?
It has to be none other than Bubakari Sumari. I mean, he
Oh
just
my goodness.
he. I watched him this weekend, and he glided across the pitch like a smooth. It's like peanut butter on a knife gliding over a piece of toast. You know how you cover every crevice of the toast, and once you were able to cover it, like every nook and cranny, you take a bite. That's kind of what Sumari is like. He's smooth and he's crunchy, and he's just able to like just get through any defender and pick out the perfect pass.
And he's already in your FPL team as well, right? He's your enabler, your 4.5 million pound asset, just helping you get the rest of your expensive guys in.
Oh yeah, well maybe I'll captain him one day. I guess we'll see.
If you have the stones. All right, let's jump into our game week 18 Boxing Day fixtures. Tell the listeners, Andrew, how you fared and what transfer you did coming into game week 18.
So I ended up scoring about 62 points. I think the transfer I did was trying to remember. I think it was Ahmad. He didn't do as well, but I think he has some decent fixtures coming up. And so I know
You
that
brought a mod in for Saka?
I brought him. It was for Morgan Rogers actually, and I don't think that. Well, I guess this week it wasn't too bad, but yeah, I think for the fixtures coming up, the Southampton one in particular, I was kind of targeting that one. I know the Liverpool's coming up, and that'll be a little bit tougher, but he's a very cheap asset that I can just probably plug and play and feel pretty decent about because he looks pretty good on the pitch.
Yeah, so you brought in Ahmad a couple weeks ago, and then I think you brought Diaz in for Saka this week. Is that
Oh yeah, that was
what
this
happened?
week. Yeah, this
Yeah,
week it
it's
was
all
Diaz
blending
for
together in
Saka.
the
It
the
is
festive fixtures. It's a blur.
because because
Between
the
that and
games
the
are
spiked
so
eggnog, you're struggling.
between all of these condensed fixtures, it does get a little uh, mixed up in my head. But yes, I did bring in Diaz this week
All good.
for Saka. That didn't really pan out this week, but
Oh, is that how you describe it?
it was a total disaster. That's the truth.
Oh yeah, I mean, or you could be like my unluckiness and just bring in Bruno Fernandez's red card for Saka. Oh
I
my
guess
god.
at least I guess the one part I liked about this game week is that I didn't have Bruno, so
Yeah.
I can
Yeah.
be happy about
All
that
right,
at
all right.
least.
I'm skipping ahead to my team already. So you captain Salah, I take it, and then who else brought you the bag of goodies
So
and points?
Palmer also got some points, and so did Isak. He got a goal in that fixture because I know Villa got a red card early on, and then after that the floodgates were open. So that felt pretty good, getting returns from those two, and then Verbruggen, the Brighton goalkeeper,
Oh my god,
he ended
Verbruggen.
up. I just checked, and he's on a 9 pointer actually. So he scored
Woo,
9.
that's huge.
So
Huge.
he was probably the main differential, I guess. Otherwise, most of the other assets to brought me points were a lot of the popular ones.
Nice. Nice. All right. Well, moving to my team, I am just riding the struggle bus. I made 3 moves and was sitting at 30K. So you think whenever you're making 3 transfers that you've banked up that you're going to at least be in a position to get a gray dot. Instead, I went from 30K to 50K,
Ooh.
a chunky red arrow considering my rank. And oh my god, I took out Cunha, I took out
Oh,
Van Heck, and I took out Saka. So previously, before Saka was injured, I was just like, all right, I'm gonna roll the 5 free transfers. I'm in a great spot. And the curse of the extra transfers. Oh my goodness. So
yeah.
last Monday, I was potting with Bucks to preview the Boxing Day fixtures, and I missed the Saka drop. And so I had previously exact money to go from Saka and Van Heck to Trent um, and Bruno, and that would have been exact money. Instead, I missed that, and those 2 transfers would have been terrible anyway. But to fund the 0.01 I needed, I moved from Cunha to Wood in this fixture.
Oh,
And after Bruno got his red card this week, I just turned off the fixtures. I didn't watch, I barely watched any football. I couldn't believe it. And then I checked back later, Cunha on a 12 fucking pointer. I
oh,
was beside myself, just in the deep dark abyss. I would have had my transfers netted me minus 19 points. That's
that
hard to do. That's really hard to do
that's tough.
between a 12 pointer and like an 8 or 9 pointer from Van Heck. So very, very frustrating. Just muted the chats for at least 8 hours. I'm like, I can't deal with this. But
Yeah, that's tough.
it is what it is. I'm still at 50K overall, so in a good spot. But I would have been pushing with another 16 points. Would have been closer to like 75 this game week. So I ended up on 56, which is a red arrow. But it is what it is. And now, once again, I brought Bruno in. I should just listen to the group chat and brought in Diaz, because then I would have just avoided a red card, avoided a future transfer, just gotten 3 points from Semenyo off my bench. That would have been what dreams were made of. But alas, no luck. My luck might have run out, and now it's going to be the new year. We'll see how we fare.
Yeah, Diaz, I mean, he didn't really feature, but I guess he didn't get negative. That's the bestest thing you can say about him.
I mean, the first yellow card was pretty weak on Bruno, but then the second one, just like 2 minutes into the second half, I was like,
Yeah.
"Fuck off! Is this really happening right now?" And to be honest, I thought a lot of the Boxing Day fixtures were pretty ochre, because over the last 2 game weeks, we've seen that clean sheets are back in.
I
They're
know.
back in style. Everyone's wearing the clean sheets out and about on the town.
Yeah, I was thinking that it was going to be a pretty mediocre Boxing Day, and a lot of them were. But the Chelsea versus Fulham fixture was actually very interesting.
Oh
I
yeah,
didn't think it would end up like that, and I think that kind of saved the Boxing Day from an entertainment standpoint because it was just so unexpected.
Yeah, Chelsea, they've known to blow a lead in some of these closer matches. Like they need a 2-0 lead to really hold on because their defense is up and down and Sanchez will make mistakes. So that was really pretty crazy because I think that's the first time that Fulham has won at the Bridge in since like the 70s,
Oh
like 50
wow,
years.
I didn't know it was that long.
Yeah, truly, truly incredible. So big win for them, and they continue to rise, whereas Chelsea has stalled out a bit. And some people in FPL have tripled up on Enzo, Palmer, and Jackson. So,
Oh
better days ahead. But that was one of the better matches. And then I thought, what else was interesting? Leicester going up 1-0 to
oh
start
yeah,
the game week or start that match. You got your captain playing. You got a lot of people have Trent. I brought him in this week, so it was just I was like, what is happening right now? No
yeah.
Diaz starting in that one, so lots of chaos. I think there's going to be a lot more rotation once again this upcoming weekend, so we'll see a lot of different lineups here. And then we'll kind of settle back into the post-festive fixture rampage that is run through FPL. So moving on, just want to quickly highlight our other guests. And when I say guests, our other co-hosts who are missing in action. So Bucks put up 60 points and I think Black Wolf put up 57. So respectable, probably
Yeah.
again a gray dot or a small green. I think they're still kind of high in the rankings. So, or high in the kind of million to 800K tier. So hopefully they will have some green arrows ahead. But more importantly, Dan has just been flying high. He asked Santa Claus for some 3-point victories for Wolves, and they get back-to-back W's. Can you
Nice.
believe that? What a guy. What a time to be alive. And we're happy for Black Wolf as he is trying to stave off relegation. And it'll be interesting, once Cunha gets booted out of that team, where the goals are going to come from and where the creativity is. But until that happens, just go around punching people in the face and soaking up FPL points. I mean, what a tear he's been on.
Yeah, from the way people are reacting online, it feels like he bit some guy's arm off, and and then he's gonna have to pay for a bionic arm for that steward that he bit. So that's basically what I'm reading
Oh my
online.
goodness.
I guess don't believe everything you read.
Well, if you read it on X, you never know.
I know,
Yeah,
yeah.
never know. All right, let's take a look. Let's pull up some fixtures that are coming up for the weekend. So we have a couple days off. This pod is going out on Friday night here in the U.S. and Pacific time. So if you tune into this pod, you will be nearing the deadline, which is Sunday morning, and we have even more fixtures to tackle. So taking a look ahead, Dallas, what are you thinking here? What are your thoughts on the game week ahead? Do you plan on making any moves? And just kind of curious, like what your mindset is going into with hopefully a Diaz appearance coming into your team.
I know that would be nice if I could actually get him to play this time. But what I'm thinking of doing is possibly doing a move from João Pedro to Nicholas Jackson.
Oh my goodness.
And
What happened to all the striker points, man? I feel like we were rolling in the points. You had all these different options. All these cheap guys were at least trickling in with 5, 9-pointers. And now it's just like, well, if you don't own Cunha, you're probably getting a red arrow. And if you don't own Isak, I don't know where you've been. But those are the only 2 guys over the past kind of 4 game weeks that have been performing consistently up top.
Well, my Kiwi gentleman, Christopher Wood, was putting some points in his bag, but it seems like the bags are drying up now. So I'm going to have to endure with him in my team. But João Pedro is making me angrier than Sir Christopher Wood.
I mean, he's already on the naughty list for Christmas 2025. He nearly got sent off with oh my God, if I would have had 2 red cards in my team in one game week in my starting lineup, I would have been irate. So I'm glad that he did not get booted off the pitch for that one. But right now we're seeing all the cheap defenders come in with their clean sheet 6-pointers, 9-pointers, like whilst everybody, especially this week, every single one of the cheap guys that is popular in FPL blanks. Ahmad, Rogers, who else do we got? Semenyo,
I
All
know.
blanks.
It's
All blanks.
crazy.
Enzo blanks. Boy. So not too many midfielders delivered points this week, which was tough. But thankfully, we have the top studs like a Mo Salah just bagging points left and right. And I think, remind the listeners, you're a Liverpool guy, right?
I am, yeah. So big Liverpool guy. I think a lot of people know that I was a little skeptical on Slot coming in. I wasn't sure how the I
You had words. You had words for him. You
I,
had words for him, and now he's won over your heart. You are now swooning
I
to
know.
Slot's aura.
His aura's like it's unimaginable. It's unlike anything I've ever seen. So this guy, he comes from the Dutch league, and a lot of times when managers come from the Dutch league to the Premier League, it doesn't translate over as well. But
Right.
I mean, I was just not familiar with his game. I mean, the way that he
Not
can,
familiar.
it's like, I owe you an apology, sir. I was really not familiar with your game because he is able to get in managers' heads and he's able to change the tactics in their dreams. And he, if he wanted to, he could probably force a manager to put a goalkeeper at the striker position. He hasn't even unveiled that trick yet because he doesn't need to. He's just able to mess with them normally with his mind games. So I'm just glad that Liverpool's flying high, and that win against the Van Nistelbums Leicester.
Van Nistelbums.
That's what I call
Nice.
him.
Nice.
That was
Yeah,
a good
Leicester is
win.
pretty open. They're definitely a targetable fixture, and when you compare them to especially like Ipswich have tightened it up defensively. They
Yeah,
only lose 1-0 today to the soccerless Arsenal Gunners. So I would say Leicester is right now the number one team to target, especially based on Van Nistelbaum's tactics, right? So until he changes those up, they're going to continue to ship 2 or 3, 4 goals each match, whether they're home or away, right?
yeah, he's going to need to run Sumari even more across that whole pitch. If he gets Sumari to play every single position at the same time, they could probably keep a clean sheet.
You know, when I'm thinking about Slot, Taylor Swift had her Eras tour, and now Slot has his Auras tour that
Oh
he's
yes.
taking all around fucking Europe, and he's getting
Woohoo!
all the You'll Never Walk Alone Liverpool fans out of their seats. He's helping little boys and girls be birthed out of the wombs, walking into glory right now. So you have to think about the double or triple up easily on Liverpool, but defensively, they're pissing me off. They've let so many one goal performances go by. Where is the connection from Trent to Salah? I feel like that's what we're all waiting for. We want those double bags of joy and the goal and the assist, and that has not happened yet. But West Ham this Sunday, they play in the late fixture on Sunday at West Ham. This should be, I would say, 3-1 or 3-0 to Liverpool, even
I
with
hope it's a
rotation.
clean sheet this time. Yeah. So 3-0 would be ideal. 10-0 would be nice as well if we could get that.
We would take it.
But
We would take it.
um, I have to be a little nicer to Santa, I guess, in order to get that. Even though he's already come, I could maybe ask him to make a trip back for a 10-0.
Yeah, just put out some peanut butter cookies and he'll come back. Don't worry.
Oh yeah.
Don't you worry, sir. All
I'll
right,
get the premium
elsewhere.
peanut butter.
Yeah. Elsewhere. It's kind of a mixed bag of the fixtures on Sunday. Everton's hosting Forest. That should be more clean sheets for Sells, Aina, and Malinkovic owners. Nottingham Forest, they've really fucking put in a shift this season. Very
I know.
surprised with them. And now they're starting to spread the goals out a little bit more. I would love a cheeky 9-pointer from Chris Wood in this one. That would make me a very happy boy
He
as we
needs
head
to start
into the
getting back
final
up
fixture of
there.
the 2024. No
Someone
shots,
needs
though. No shots versus Tottenham, right?
Oh, geez, yeah. Someone needs to tell him that he needs to win the Golden Boot this year. Maybe revise his contract mid-season, put a clause in there that says, if you win the Golden Boot, you get 50 jars of peanut butter.
I mean, he's trying to be Apex number one striker, number one footballer. So he better step it up because right now we need him as that cheap asset in our strike force. But there's also players like Nico Jackson, like you were mentioning. He's blanked the last couple matches, but Chelsea should hopefully find their form coming up here. And we're really thinking about, Ipswich has been been solid at home, especially, but I think their home crowd will urge them to go for it a little bit more, and this game could be a little bit more open. What do you see here? You confidently thinking about the double up for Nico Jackson and Palmer against Ipswich on Monday?
Yeah, so I think they'll at least score 2 goals, and I'm mainly saying that because based on what Chelsea's been doing, I think they kind of need a get right game. So I think Ipswich presents a good opportunity for them to really attack and really start getting the goals flowing again, and making sure that they try to get a dominating win in order to get the season back on track. Because after that Fulham performance, they need a resounding response, and I think they can do it here.
They better. Let me tell
Yeah,
you, as a rogue Chelsea supporter, obviously I'm not as diehard as Bucks is, but it was very disappointing in the last two performances, and especially when we're all looking for Nico Jackson to be that second or third striker in our teams, and he's been a good boy. He hasn't gotten any of his yellow cards for dissent, but
yeah,
a couple blanks in a row, and Chelsea's been a little bit off the boil. So he missed a couple big chances, especially in that Everton match. That was frustrating. So
yeah.
more to come from the boys in blue. All right, I want to get your take. Where are you thinking right now for Manchester United and Newcastle, which is the last fixture of the game week on a Monday? Some people back at work, some people still taking the time off. I will definitely be putting an hour in my calendar to make sure I got this blocked off. Newcastle really kind of having that like post sleeper hype right now. I feel like they came into the season with no Champions League, no European football, got off to a rocky start, and they've kind of been settling into their lineup right now. And Gordon and Isak are purring, and even fucking Murphy is out here crushing it.
Yeah.
He gets another assist this game week. I think he came up with 6 points, so he's had a couple braces in there. So what's going to happen with this United team? Who's even going to captain United with Bruno out of the side for this one?
Give it to Ahmad. Just throw him in the deep end. See how he responds.
I was thinking we give the captain to Rashford. Give him the armband. He can watch from home with the armband on.
Yeah, he can, or better yet, put him in the nosebleeds with binoculars. He can get a really nice look at Ahmad from up there, see how he can be as a player.
Yeah, Newcastle, we have seen them clean 3 out of the last 4. They've been in good
Yeah.
form. They've been in good form right now. Lewis Hall owners laughing to the bank.
I know,
And
yeah.
I was laughing at Bucks because he started Rico Lewis, the ultimate trap over Lewis Hall. Oh my God, this City team, they're fucking toast. Stick a fork in them. They're done. Don't put any peanut butter on that burnt toast. They're done for.
They play
They're
Leicester
not
this week.
relevant for FPL, and
Even then, I guess.
they play Leicester. Yeah, Erling Haaland misses the pen after
Oh, wow,
old
yeah.
mate Seamus Coleman putting on some mind games of his own, and
Man, old man Seamus, he has a lot of wisdom in his head. He knows how to really ruin a young player's mindset.
yeah, you don't fuck with a Seamus. They don't make them like that anymore, do they?
He's not ashamed us. But
Wow. That is I don't know if I leave that in or edit that out. That was quality of some kind of degree there. Nicely done, sir. The dad jokes came in for Bucks. He'll be happy about that at least.
Nice.
All right. Well, I know we're rambling a bit here. What are your thoughts on what to do with Bruno? I think that's one of the tipping points of this game week, especially heading into next week. And when we look at all the soccer replacements from this week that were popular, only Anthony Gordon and Bowen delivered points, whereas every single other player just did jack squat. So kind of curious, especially for me being selfish and thinking about my team. Man, you get a red card, I really kind of want to rip you out of my team. I did that with
Yeah.
Raid Nori earlier, fucked him off into the sun, and Bruno has come into my side twice this season, and this might be the second time I transfer him out within 2 game weeks. He's just frustrating position to be in. And then after this Newcastle fixture, they play Liverpool, and for 8.4 million, I know some of the guys in our group chat, like Abdullah, were shouting out that he's just not worth 8.4 if they're going to function like this. So what do you do if you own Bruno? Do you hold if you have multiple transfers, or do you get aggressive and just move on from him and just hopefully get some points elsewhere.
Well, I do really like Diaz. I know a lot of people in our group chat like him as well. He was in the previous week. He actually scored 2 goals in Liverpool's thrilling win, and I think after his rest today, he should be able to get back in that team. He seems like he's first choice at the moment, doing really well, and I think he would probably be my top one because the double game week coming up, having those 3 Liverpool assets. And I think for me, the double attack is better than the double defense, especially with us leaking the odd goal and our attack really humming over the past few weeks. So I'd do Trent, Salah, and then out of the rest of our attackers, probably Diaz, because I think he'll play the most out of all the rest of them, and he looks really good.
Yeah, I think Diaz is a player who always tempts. I got him on game week 6 wild card after he got all of his oodles and oodles of points. And then he left me high and dry with 3 blanks, and then I moved on from him. So he comes up with the brace in this Tottenham match, right? And
Yeah.
those were his first goals in the Premier League since September. So hadn't really done too much. Always looks like rather threatening, but the clinical nature kind of dried up from his early start. And I think it's an interesting position to be in. If you're looking for a Bruno replacement, I'm leaning towards moving him on because the next 2 fixtures and 8.4 million is just not a price tag that I want to have on my bench, and probably expect little to nothing versus away at Liverpool at Anfield in game week 20. So yeah, Diaz has got to be up there. I think Anthony Gordon is somebody I'm eyeing up personally as somebody who's just in form and underperformed his XG so far this season. But with everybody owning Isak, we're kind of at the point where if you don't own another attacker on Newcastle, you're actually like barely getting any of those points. And I'm not sure what the effective ownership of Isak is right now, but it's got to be fucking really high in the Engage
Yeah, it
Manager's
has to
top
be.
million, right? Yeah, he's been the go-to lad over the last 6 game weeks where everybody else has fallen off a cliff. So other than Cunha, of course. Yeah, so I think those are a couple guys. I'm not sure how to look into Trent though. I sprung the cash to get him for this Leicester home fixture. I think FPL veterans were hoping for that 24-point haul that he had against Leicester maybe 4 or 5 years ago with a couple goals and whatnot. But what are your thoughts right now on the defense, especially without Konate? Jogo is still, he's very mids.
Yeah, I think I think the defense is it's okay, but it's not. We seem to be leaking in the odd goal, even though for the most part we're locking Leicester down. I think based on the XG in that game, I think they only had like 0.4 XG or something really small, but it just so
Yeah.
happens that we let in that 1 goal. Um, I guess we should have been wearing special fog glasses. Then we might not have leaked it in. But I think the defense overall is still fine. Holding opponents to a decent amount of low XG. It's just I think there's more upside in our attack than our defense, and that's why I recommend a second attacker for Liverpool. Take advantage of we have a really nice run of fixtures too in terms of attack, and just taking advantage of that and get in 2 attackers for the double. But I think the defense will get better when Konate comes back, and hopefully that's relatively soon.
Yeah, I mean, from an XG perspective, they held Leicester to 0.34 and
Yeah.
only four total shots as well. So somewhat unlucky to give up that goal early in that match. But yeah, Liverpool, I think it's an interesting position to be in. I'm still trying to keep my options open for the possible slot ass man chip in game week
Oh yeah.
24 and using that because I still have triple captain free hit and bench boost left for future matchups. So yeah, I'm still undecided there. And if I brought in Diaz or if any manager brings in the triple up, you're going to have to move one of those fucking guys out of your team to then bring in the manager. Just
Oh,
utter. utter shite that they
That's
came up with for this
I
chip.
can't
I
believe
mean,
that. That's wow.
it's just and then the slot's going to cost 1.5 million to boot. It's just a pain
He
in the
will,
ass.
yeah.
But any other midfielders kind of catching the eye? I know Bowen is a player that's continuing to tick along. I'm not sure if he's got some tough fixtures though coming up. I think he plays both. He plays Liverpool this week and then City away in 20, and then a couple okay fixtures: Fulham and Crystal Palace at home, Aston Villa, Chelsea, Brentford. So he's a guy that's going to continually tick along. I don't see West Ham scoring more than 2 goals very frequently, but he's usually heavily involved in their goal share and whatnot. So any other guys other than Tottenham can't go there at all, right? Just
Yeah.
so up and down. And Madison, doesn't start this next match, and just pain in the ass with
It
that
seems
team.
like
And
when he does start, he always gets an early sub too.
yeah, he scored a goal against Liverpool and was like ripped him off still while chasing the game in the 57th minute. So
Yeah, that's crazy.
yeah. Um, Elsewhere, Crystal Palace has the best fixtures according to Fantasy Football Scout on the fixture ticker from kind of game week 19 to game week 28. They have a great run coming up, but we haven't seen much from Eze. Sarr seems to be playing rather far forward, and then Munoz is overlapping with him like a little lapdog. So I really like Munoz coming into the side at 4.7, 4.8 million if you're looking for a defender transfer this week, and the entry point is great home versus Southampton. But Mateta, he just hasn't brought the goods this season. We've been waiting for it. Is he still burnt out from 20 weeks ago when he was playing at the World Cup with Elise for the under 23s? Like, it just hasn't come to fruition for that side yet. So would you pick any midfielders at Palace for their upcoming run?
Probably the only one would be Sarr, because he seems to be the one with the most goal threat, getting close to the goal, having the most attempts. I think I still prefer Diaz probably because of the better attack of Liverpool, and then you're kind of getting ahead of the double game week,
Right.
getting those 3 Liverpool in. But Sarr, if you need the money, he's probably one of my favorite picks as well, behind Diaz. And for example, if you can do something like Bruno down to Sarr, and then if that allows you to do something like Pedro to Jackson or to another
Yep.
good striker, I think those are valid moves as well.
Yeah, good shots there. And then the only other midfielders would be all the Arsenal guys. You have Martinelli, Trossard, Odegaard. Pretty underwhelming performance versus Ipswich, who, again, we'll give them some credit. They've been pretty stingy lately, but just kind of curious, where you fall. We're going to see Saka out for months and months, which is, very unfortunate to see a top talent and a mainstay in FPL out of our sides. But, they're going to continue to dominate in possession. That's how Arteta wants to play. And if they can just create enough, chances, there were 3 big chances created in this match. And, I think the lads it's tough to go for right now. Like Odegaard just for me doesn't have enough open play XG, even though he's probably on penalties. So I don't know. Do you go for any of these guys? They have a decent run. I think they're just still one of the top sides. So Brentford away, Brighton away, Tottenham at home, Villa at home, Wolves away in the next 5. That's pretty good. That's almost as good as it gets, I think. So was today just a Christmas Day hangover, Boxing Day hangover type of performance, and we expect them to be consistently putting up 2 or 3 even without Saka? What's your read?
Well, it's going to take them some time to probably figure out how to create a lot without Saka. They're still a really good team, but
Yeah, they
he's
got
definitely.
the peanut butter, but they need the jelly.
I know, yeah. It's kind of like the peanut butter's there, but it needs to be rehydrated. It's been dried out in the sun too long, and so
For anyone who
they.
doesn't know, the peanut butter is one of Dallas's mainstays in his diet.
I know it has to be there. Can't go without it. But I would say Saka. It's going to take some time to get used to not playing with him, but they're talented enough to where they can, and I think they will figure it out. But then once they figure it out, the other main issue with Arsenal is that the goals are always spread around in their team anyway. So you don't know if it's going to be Havertz popping up with a goal, Jesus, Martinelli. it could be a long range effort from Odegaard, but I mean, it's so hard to nail it down, and that's why Saka was such a popular asset, because you knew that he would at least be involved. If not a goal, he'd probably get an assist. And
Yeah.
I agree on Odegaard too. I don't like him as much because I usually like to go for players with high upside goal threat, and he seems like more of a deep underlying creator and not really as much
Yeah,
from
good
open
shout.
play.
Good shout. And then even thinking about Martinelli, like today, 0.07 XG plus XA.
Yeah, not good.
Just 0 shots, 0 chances created. Not what you want to see for somebody auditioning to possibly come into your side. So I'm not very interested there. I think between Jesus and Havertz up top, like let's monitor that. Let's definitely monitor that. Early days of FPL this season, Havertz was putting in some good performances. I know this week he played in that 8 role with Jesus up top, but he still got his goal and was kind of involved with the attack. So he's on my watch list in terms of the forwards, because right now we haven't seen too much action from our other lads. So all right, I think that's a wrap for the game week preview. Let's get down to the nitty gritty, the brass tacks, and let's discuss what our transfer plans and captaincy shouts are. Start us off, Dallas. What are you leaning towards? I know we teased it earlier. What will you actually end up doing? I'm curious.
I think I will actually end up going Pedro to Jackson. I'm gonna probably look at a lot of the predicted lineups tomorrow, make sure that they have Jackson playing. I know some people are saying he could get rested because it's Ipswich, but to me, I think after dropping points, they'd want to field their best lineup and have a get right game. So I'm thinking that he will start, but I'd like to see some confirmation from the fans on Jump the
From
Waves
the
predictions.
ITKs.
Yeah.
What are
So
the FPL physios saying? Let's drop in their DMs and make sure he's fit and ready to fire.
they analyzed his third hamstring fiber to the left, and they said it looked a little frail, but they said if they rubbed some baby oil on it, then he would be right as rain.
Wow. So one of the physios I saw, he was talking about rubbing the tiger balm on that
Oh,
left strand of the hammy. So we will see how
whoa.
it plays out. But yeah, I think that's a good move, especially for free. And right now, Brighton, they're the bane of my existence. I hate
Yeah,
these fucking
Pedro was so annoying today. It's like, do you do anything?
yeah. I mean, I'm in a spot where I have just I need some surgery in my team. I got Bruno. I still have Bumo. I got Semenyo. I got fucking João Pedro. So a bunch of assets that have been very, very much on the other side of the hill in terms of their FPL performance right now. And Semenyo, I don't know did you play him this week? Do you have him in your side?
I used to have him. I don't have him anymore.
Okay. He again looked great past the eye test, and the last ball just isn't quite there. And
He always
he
does that.
he
Yeah.
he had a it was really funny. He had a shot that was cleared off the line by Sar from Crystal Palace. So just like a funny revolving doors thing where
Twist of fate. Yeah.
yeah, just like the future replacement for Semenyo and Sar in a lot of managers' teams blocks them from points.
Oh
Brutal,
man.
brutal noodle. Okay, who's your captain this week? I think it's pretty straightforward, as it always is at this time of the year.
Yeah, so I think I'll go. I think I'll go Salah. I think
Have to.
that'll be a pretty easy decision, and I feel pretty confident about him. I mean, he looked good, got his goal, and yeah, feeling good about our Liverpool attack.
Good Lord. It's just pulling up his results from this season from 18 game weeks. Truly absurd. Truly
Yeah,
absurd. And a 9-pointer. Oh, wasn't double digits. Yeah, that was a
yeah,
little disappointing.
he's saving it for West Ham. Yeah,
Yeah, that's right. That's right. All right, moving to my team. I agree with you on captaincy. I will be on Mo Salah, keeping it simple. Just a little kiss method, you don't need to be bold, and you just got to keep it simple, stupid, and keep
yep.
moving on with the rest of your squad. So I have 2 free transfers, 0.1 in the bank, and Bruno is in my side. So like I said, I got Bumo versus Arsenal. That's not great.
Oh,
I
yeah.
got Semenyo away to Fulham. Not great either. And then I got Mikolenko on the bench home to NFO. I guess I could play Mikolenko over João Pedro or something, but it needs a refresh. So I will be removing Bruno. Right now, leading candidate is Anthony Gordon. But I could also make another move. I could bring in Diaz for Bumo and just get
Oh,
real spicy.
whoa.
Home versus Arsenal, and I don't think Bumo looked great today. I didn't actually watch that match. I was just following around on the stats because I'm doing a bathroom renovation, a DIY. It was
Whoa.
demo day over here at the Chin Nation household. I had the hammer out. We took out the toilet. We took out the vanity, threw it fucking down the stairs. Oh my goodness, it's all happening here. So I didn't have time to watch this match. And, looking at it, I didn't miss fucking anything. There's like a zillion shots from Enciso, but he
I
didn't do
know.
anything else. What do you have, like 45 shots when I look at this map? Oh my
Felt like
goodness.
more.
Terrible. Yeah. So, I probably, I have 2 free transfers. I kind of want to use both of them to get over this hangover that my team is in after what should have been a nice green arrow was just a massive red again since I -19 Dallas. Can you believe that? Like that is hard to do. Like I think that might be one of my sets of transfers that could be the worst of all time for me. Like it's up there. It's up there. -19 on your transfer moves.
Dang. Yeah, that's a rough
Not
one.
good. So what? João Pedro, 2 shots. Could have got a red. 1 chance created. Ugh, who knows what to do? But I think I'm going to make 1 or 2 moves, and hopefully then I'll be able to sit tight for a while. I just don't really want to play. Like I could play Semenya away to Fulham, and it'd be fine. But I think I want to shake up the team and get rid of Bruno and figure other things out. I'm also thinking about the triple up on the Arsenal defense and just saying, fuck it. Just get Timber next to Gabriel and Raya. That's something I'm also thinking that would change me into a 4-4-2 or a 3 or a 4-5-1. But I don't know. I gotta tinker around a little bit. Got some moves to make.
Yeah, it is an interesting move. So that it could work. Timber was really good today. I
Yeah, I
saw
had a
that he
couple shots.
took that shot. It was straight to the goalkeeper, but he looked the ex Lively is off the chart. He was like
he looks fit.
Prime Tariq Lamptey. That's the way he reminded me of today.
A little lamprey. All right, ladies and gentlemen, thank you for tuning in to this quick pod. We really appreciate Andrew joining us today, fresh off the pine for our fallen comrades in arms. But you did a fantastic job. We really appreciate it, Andrew. Tell the listeners where to find you on the socials and any last parting words, some wisdom to give to them as we approach New Year's, and there are going to be resolutions and all kinds of things happening in the age of 2025. So tell the listeners what they need to hear.
Yeah, so you can find me on X at FPL_Dallas. I'll be there providing some maybe spicy takes like Sumari captaincy. You will find that on my page. And my profile picture is me of the green suit. So that's how you know, or not me, but it's a long story. But it's a picture of a guy in a green suit. And I also want to highlight a special Brentford player that I was enamored with today. So he was the goalkeeper,
Who's that?
the backup goalkeeper.
The first ever Premier League game for him.
I know. I just wanted to highlight him because he came in and everyone thought he would concede. And I think his name is Valdemarson.
Yep.
And I decided to give him the nickname Lord Valdemart.
Lord Valdemars. All right.
A little Harry Potter reference. And so calling him Lord Valdemart, he had that punch of destiny at the end from the corner. And he kept writing out and he kept the clean sheet. So first appearance, first clean sheet. Things are rolling for him. And just want to wish everyone a happy holidays. And I'm looking forward to this game week next. I'm pretty excited.
Love that. Thank you for getting us out of here. And again, we wish all of our listeners green arrows. Some of them, maybe gray dots. But if they're nice to us, then in the group chat, then we'll wish them green arrows to come. And yeah, safe travels, everybody. Let's end the year on a high note, and then we will be in 2025. And I think it's going to be the year of Mo Salah continuing to bang goals for your Liverpoolians.
Oh
We'll
yeah.
see how we go around the corner. Thanks for tuning in, and we'll catch you next time.